the Cardinals defense. All right, let's start on the Packers side and look at the offensive line real quick. From left to right, Rasheed Walker, 60.5, Aaron Banks, 43.4, Elton Jenkins, 61.4, Jordan Morgan, 53.9, and Zach Tom, 72.2. It's worth mentioning Jordan Morgan, that last game, it's not going to show up here, had his highest graded game of the year, so he seems to be playing his best football. Zach Tom out there battling an oblique, and he just still 72.2, no problem. It's just unbelievable what he's able to do. Rasheed Walker struggling a little bit this year. He had basically gotten better his first 2 years in the league, 66.3, or his second and third year in the league. He didn't play at all in 2022. 66, 68, and fell back to a 60 this year. To me, I think he's thinking a little too much. I think he's a little ticked off too. He didn't get that contract. He probably wanted a contract because he's going into the contract year this year, but he's also kind of hurting his case for a contract extension if you want to get like top tackle money.
Right.
But I will say, man, I think Rasheed Walker can hold his own when he needs to. But in terms of the offensive line here, if there's a spot that you look at this game and go, here's where they have the edge, I think it's our offensive line against their defensive line. I mean, they got Josh Sweat, 77.4. He's got 5 sacks on the year, if I remember correctly. Calais Campbell, this dude's 123 years old. He just continues to play good football, 74.7. He's 6'8". We'll talk about it in the game plan tomorrow. But you're talking about a guy that can get up there and bat down balls and also play the run real stout at 6'8". Now, that right side, if this is indeed accurate in their nickel sets, Stills of 45.7, Browning of 58.3. So really what you're looking at in terms of Tuesday players, in my opinion, Emilio, Sweat first and foremost. Don't let him wreck the game plan. Make sure you get bodies on him. And again, this isn't like he's just done it for 1 year. If I remember correctly, he's been pretty solid. I mean, that's stout grades, right? 65, 62, 70, 76, 83, 67, 70, and a 77. So this is his second highest graded season so far, albeit just going into the 7th week of the season. So Josh Sweat's that dude on the defensive line that you probably want to keep an eye on. You can do it a number of different ways. You can get the ball out quick. You can get the running game going early, or you could try to chip him. The problem with getting the ball out quick, if you're going to attack over the middle of the field quickly, you got to watch out for Calais Campbell and those big balls.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And again, you got to worry about what's closest to the ball. D-line is where it's going to start. Honestly, our O-line kind of looks a lot like their O-line. We got a decent center, a solid tackle, and, a decent other tackle. So it's where we're kind of in that same, triangle of the O-line. I think that we really just need to make sure that there's no disruption. That wall needs to be built up front. We need to keep Love clean. We need to open those holes. And honestly, you're probably right. Maybe we just get run heavy on the right side. Maybe you boot action to the left, and then you're running right. Your main plays are that way. Maybe you can get outside of those guys. Maybe we can try to take them out of the play if you want to get outside, quick pitch or something to try to seal off the edge and just take them out of the play but still run to their side. Same idea when people are trying to attack us, when Mike is out there. Are you going to run at him? You're going to, try to run around him? What's the plan? But I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, leading up to the last game there against the Bengals, we had struggled to run off guard. Shout out to our Aaron Rodgers, not the Aaron Rodgers, who sent me some analytics, some screenshots where we were struggling to run in the gap there with the right guard, right? That A to B gap on the right side. And then last week, what did we see? We dominated in that gap, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that again this week and try to run, B to C gap right. Try to stay away from Calais Campbell. Now, listen, there's a chance that Calais could, hop over and play 3-tech or something, right? That could happen as well. So you just got to be aware of where Calais is and where Sweat is. If I was running their defense, what I would want is I would make sure Calais is actually lined up on the right side in the 3-tech opposite of Sweat at the wide 9 on the opposite side. So
it does look like we've gained a little bit more running right than we have running left. I was just looking at the directions on PFF. Yeah, right end wise, we ran for 111 yards on the right end. So it's like that's our highest direction compared to the left end at 56 yards. So
and I think what they're doing there, Emilio, too, is you continue to pound the ball right, especially out of 11 nasty, and then you can come back and hit them with that slot cross, and you really widen that window up when you get the backers biting on that 22 fake.
Yeah.
And, getting them pulled up. Does that make sense?
Yep. And then maybe like a couple of screens, maybe if we're worried about it, let's get a screen or two to their side. The defense's stronger side. Let's let them kind of break through that rush. Oh, they got a free one. dump it to Josh. Let's see what we get going.
Yeah, completely agree, man. All right, so there's your offensive line against your defensive line. Let's talk about Tucker Kraft for a minute. PFF not too kind to him, although he is sitting at a 67.8. That's the 20th highest graded tight end in the league. Dude's a dog. I'm telling you, he maximizes every opportunity he gets. I think he's a true playmaker for the Packers, in my opinion. Their linebacking core is a weak spot to their defense. They got Davis Gaither at a 56.1 and Wilson Sr. at a 57.0. So they're grading out respectively at 49th and 54th stack backer position, according to PFF. Tucker Kraft could have a big game here, man. Could have a big game. If you continue to show that 22 run, go 22 duo, 22 duo, 22 duo, 22 fake, get those backers biting up. Really like Tucker Kraft's chances there on a slant or maybe even an angle route if he is playing off the line of scrimmage a touch.
Right. Maybe a little backside dig at the second level and just drop it into him. You just get the ball in his hands because that's where he's lethal. I mean, that's where he can get busy, and you saw it get us 7 points, right? So I think it's not, maybe it's Matt, maybe it's Jordan, maybe it's everybody, but we just need to get the ball to the open player. I don't think we can force feed anyone. Obviously, we want to get it to Kraft. Maybe we do a couple of those. Remember that fake double screen both ways, and then you drop it up for the middle screen to Tucker. It's like, let's bring a couple of those back. I know Matt's not going to use them all. We got to save the playbook for the year going on, but we just kind of need to just keep it up, keep dispersing the ball as best we can.
Yeah, just keep moving, keep spreading it around, man. And again, don't listen to all the hoopla about should we get this player involved, that player involved. Forget that stuff. Now, Josh Jacobs.
Someone's going to get hot each game, right? Just follow the hot hand.
So this is just absolutely awesome. Josh Jacobs is officially the number 2 graded running back in all of the NFL right now at 82.1. I mean, he started off kind of struggling a little bit. Now, we all know watching the tape, it was the offensive line struggles. It was a run scheme struggle. It wasn't like, what was Josh Jacobs thinking there? If anything, he's getting yardage that wasn't there, right? Yep. But now all of a sudden he's up to an 82.1. His receiving grade is what's crazy, Emilio. 87.9 elite receiving grade. And you've seen it last week, obviously, where you've seen Jordan pressure in his face, little stutter step in the backfield, get the backer to bite a touch, dump it off, let Josh Jacobs do the rest, man. Josh Jacobs he's having a hell of a season, man. I'm excited to see how he continues to improve as the year goes along, and Jordan Love continues to get on the same page with the likes of Matthew Golden.
Right. Looking at that 92.3 from last year, 82.1 is not bad at all, man. I'm super happy with Josh. He's had a tough go at it running wise with the way this O-line's been banged up and not being able to open some of those holes. The fact that we were able to get a couple of those last week, perfect. We need to build on that. We need to keep adding to that. And yet with that receiving grade of 87.9, the dude last year hadn't had a receiving touchdown in his entire career, right? We finally break that curse, whatever voodoo was over him. And dude, just get the ball in his hands. Same with Tucker, same with Josh. It's like we have a couple of those guys that just need to be able to touch the rock. And that's where Matt comes in. That's why he needs to scheme up different ways to get into him. I know we hate the jet sweeps, but sometimes you got to get it to just to play. Just get it on the outside. We're stretching the defense. It's you're 2 birds with 1 stone. Getting the ball in the hands of your playmaker and working the defense horizontally to try to open it up vertically down the line. And it's just we just need to stick to it. Keep going, man.
Yeah, and Randy Steen with the super chat. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate you. Says, or that sluggo that Kraft put on tape. Could you imagine a little slant and go? That's what a sluggo is, guys, if you're wondering what that means. A little slant and go from Tucker on those backers. Oh, my goodness. Imagine a 22 fake. He leaks out, shows a slant, and then hits the seam after the safety already committed to maybe the 2 on that side.
And Jordan can throw a quick little head nod at it, too, like he's getting ready to load up.
Yeah, love it. So, again, Josh Jacobs off to a solid start this season. Let's talk about Jordan Love for a second, man. The 7th highest graded quarterback in the league right now. You guys remember 2023, we were talking about how awesome he was. He is 0.6 points away from matching that grade that he had in 2023.
Heard it from a fan right here.
This dude's a real deal, Emilio.
He is.
Real deal. And the way he carries himself, the teammate that he is, the leader that he is. I'm kind of at a loss for words, and thank you for that super chat, Randy. We're just so freaking blessed.
That's what
Jordan Love is a starting quarterback now.
Exactly what I was going to say, man. And we really, truly are. there's, right now, nobody else I'd rather have than Jay Love as our quarterback. His demeanor, the way he carries himself, his attitude, the friendships that he builds. I mean, you see him on the sideline. You see him excited with everybody, got different handshakes with basically the entire team. And it's just the exact guy we needed in this moment. I think that Matt LaFleur and him are on the same page. I think the offense really is starting to hum. We've put up almost 27 every game, and I think that it's just going to keep happening, right? And just sky's the limit. Super happy for Jordan, man. I just can't wait.
What's crazy is his 2 interceptions. It was like the only 2 mistakes he made. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He made a handful of others, I'm sure, and I'm sure he's getting critiqued way harder than we're critiquing him, in the meetings, in the meeting room and everything. But the thing, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you look at those interceptions, it's like each of those 2 interceptions, you're like, damn it, Jordan, if you had not thrown that ball, you had a perfect day. And it's not to be overly critical. It's just he's so close to playing truly like that Aaron Rodgers, peak Aaron Rodgers form, man, because he's starting to protect the football like Aaron did, back in the day. I mean, I know people see the interceptions from time to time and go, man, that's a stupid throw. I got you. But again, he's thrown 2 picks this year. I mean, he's on pace for, I don't know what the touchdown passes are now, but I'll look it up. Yeah, I want to say it's at least 8. Yeah, maybe it is 9. Let me hop over real quick. I won't put it on the screen.
Speaking of peak Rodgers.
On my knee.
That's not peak Rodgers. That's Perk Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about here? So let's see here. Let's go. Let me just pull up these stats. I want to give you guys the correct touchdown interception here. So, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. So, Emilio, what week are we in? 7?
That is 7. We've played 5 games.
So we're still less than halfway there, right?
Yep.
When you average this out, you're going to see what you're going to see with Jordan Love. I mean, he's tracking only having 6, maybe 6 interceptions, something like that, maybe even 5. If he finishes the year 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, boy, oh boy, I'm going to be.
I think we were talking about that, Clay. Where was your number? I think you were around 8, right? I think you were 6 to 8. If he does that, we're in great shape. I was over here 10 to 12. As long as he's putting up the touchdowns, it doesn't matter. Seeing this offense the way they're playing, hey, let's keep it at 4 and call it a day. You know what I mean? Like the way he's kind of making this happen, and just 2 freak really picks. His turnover-worthy play probably might be a little bit high, but it doesn't show how it comes off in the game. You know what I mean? He is making great decisions. The ball's getting put in good spots. He's using his legs. Everything's sort of humming. And previous decisions that were poorly made in the previous years, those are starting to get erased from his game. And I think that he's just sort of building on that.
Completely agree. Brent in Indiana with the super chat. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you, buddy. No issue with the Love. Miss the Rodgers attitude. I think I agree with both of that, man. Listen, there's a lot of people that Aaron Rodgers' attitude they soured on. I'm just telling you, man, you need somebody to keep people accountable, right? This isn't a dig on Love. I love, no pun intended, I love Love's leadership.
Yeah.
Right? Me personally, I would respond better to how Jordan Love leads than Aaron Rodgers. And that's not that I would be pouting or anything because Aaron Rodgers chewed my ass for making a mistake. I'm just saying I would, the guy that looks at me like Jordan would and be like, hey, man, I need you here. Rather than what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
but there are some guys that like Lombardi used to say it, and I'm paraphrasing very, very heavily here, but Lombardi, what Vince Lombardi was so good at, they said, was he knew which players he needed to pat on the back and mess their hair up. And he knew the guys that he had to put a boot in their ass, right? That's what makes a great leader. So when it comes to the leader, I'll tell you, Bart Starr, same way. Many people look at Bart Starr because he was a gentleman. He was a stand-up dude. He was just this guy. Him and his wife, 2 amazing human beings, right? But I've also heard the stories about how this guy, one particular, they said that this guy kept getting through and hitting Bart Starr, right? In the middle of the game. He got hit, got sacked like twice. And he turned around in the huddle in front of all his teammates and said that guy's name and said, if so-and-so gets back in here in the backfield one more time, I'm going to kick you right in the pants in front of all these people. Like, you don't think Bart Starr would say that, right? But again, he knew he probably couldn't go to that young player and be like, come on, guy, I need you here. It's
Right.
more of I'm going to put the fear of God in him real quick and straighten him up. Like, hey, this is not acceptable. So I think Aaron does that better than Jordan does.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, I like Jordan Love's leadership a little bit better than Aaron's. Both of them have the strengths for sure.
Because if Jordan does bring that sort of attitude, Clay, or not attitude, but that arrogant, whatever, however people want to reference it, if he brings that sort of heat, that thunder, people are gonna, straighten up and straight and narrow, right? Because it's not his style. If Jordan Love were to ever bring that in a game, bring it on the sideline, we might not see it. Maybe he does, but in those fair few moments that does happen, people are snapping their head up and they're listening. They're gonna respond if a dude that's quiet like that speaks up and makes that that sort of a statement. You're gonna see them respond to that.
Yeah. Holmes says 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions sounds about right to me, Clay. And not to mention the running, right? His ability to extend the play and obviously pick up first downs with his legs this year as well. Randy Steen said, even if they are ugly, 1 pick every 2.5 games is incredible. So, it really is. Really is. Way better than us on franchise mode Madden, right, Amelia?
I get a little pass happy, Clay, man. And my freshman QB gets rattled when he throws too many picks.
I'm the opposite, man. I'm that dude. I'm playing 1945 football. I run the hell out of the rock. I'm telling you right now, I'm the most boring.
You're using Navy's offense over there, just option.
It's just when I come to the line, if there's any question whatsoever, I'm going to a run play every time, man. That's just how I roll. But all right, let's move it along here. We talked about Jordan Love. Let's talk about our receivers against our corners. Listen, it's worth mentioning Will Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us talking about him, right? And was that this year's draft, Emilio?
It was.
It was. So Will Johnson, is he healthy now? Did he play last week? He did, week 6, right?
Yeah.
Because he was banged up. So he played, 50 snaps? Yeah, so he played 50 snaps last week. And the week before he played, it looks like a 40, what would that be? 50, however many. 50-plus snaps, right? You guys can tell I'm from Kentucky. I don't count Will. But 50-plus snaps the last 2 weeks, so he's now healthy. Where did we have Will Johnson on our draft board?
Will Johnson was our second-rated corner. Would have been first if you took out Travis Hunter, but our second-rated corner had 12.3. He was a captain. He had the hard eyes, but was red from injury concern. And he was a cornerback outside. We had him marked as.
Yeah. So we were very, very high on him. But again, we got him in red. Not saying you shouldn't draft him. It's just that, hey, don't forget injury concerns.
Well, that's why he fell to the second round, 47th pick, was because of the red injury concerns, or else dude would have been a first-round pick.
Yeah, and that's a hell of a pickup by the Cardinals, no doubt. So that's going to be their stud corner. Now, outside of him, it's Cheeks, right? Now, listen, I don't mean to put any slander on the Melton family name here, but Max Melton not off to a good start according to PFF, a 44.0 PFF grade there. Obviously, he's a former second-round pick. He was drafted in 2024, so this is his second year in the league. Last year, he graded out a 54. This year, a 44. Obviously, that's Bo's brother. And then, of course, in the slot, you got Jalen Thompson, who's grading out a 59.3 right now. So really, man, you just got to be aware of Will Johnson, right? You got to kind of know where he's at on the field. Don't get baited. And if you guys remember, the big scouting report on Will Johnson coming out of Michigan was sticky man coverage. It was the best man cover corner coming out in the draft.
But wasn't his speed just a little? People were just worried that he didn't have top end speed, or maybe was it because he didn't run?
That's it. See, his tape. You turn on the tape and you go, my man can run.
Yeah.
But he did not run the 40. And then remember, he wasn't at the combine. And then he invited everybody in. Hey, I'm going to do a pro day. I'm going to show you I can perform. Everybody got there and he didn't run the 40. Everybody was pissed off about it. So that's probably why he's sneaked on the board too. So
that's right.
But yeah, so that's how their cornerback room shakes out. We talked about linebackers at the safety position. This is kind of hard to see here, man. Or kind of hard to, I don't know what the right word is. It's the end of an era. Budda Baker has played the game the way it should be played his entire career. But, man, he's off to a slow start this year, Emilio. 49.3. You see his PFF grades throughout his entire career. 72, 65, 71, 75, 64, 73, 64, 77. It looks like he might be hitting that wall now. How old is he? He's going to be turning 30 this year. So Budda Baker plays a physical style of football. He's a leader of men. He's a stand-up dude. Everybody in Arizona absolutely loves him. He's voted a captain every single year. Seems to be hitting a little bit of a wall. So if Budda Baker has hit that wall, and his best football is behind him. That's a good thing for the Packers this week. But boy, DTD, I know you were big on him coming out in the draft, right, Emilio?
Yeah. Red Raiders, man. I just love the way he plays. He's a thumper. He's not afraid to throw the shoulder, but he's fast. He's got good awareness. He's responsive. With Buddha sliding down, I think that it's impressive that DTD has kept it at 75 a year. I mean, he had a good year last year, having a good year this year. Maybe it's only on a couple of games, but he's consistent, right? He's not maybe having elite games. The dude's super, super consistent in the way he plays. And look, you can see it there with 73 coverage, 66 run defense, not afraid to stick his nose in it, and probably doesn't get beat over the top too often.
Yeah. So again, DTD, Dadrian Taylor Demerson is grading out much higher to 75.1 last year, 75.5. So he seems to be the real deal. That's a safety you want to look out for.
Didn't Buddha just get paid too this past year? Wasn't
Buddha,
that?
It may have been. I'm so bad with this stuff.
Because I remember, weren't they having a big issue about wasn't he going to be on the market, and people were talking about wanting to get him picked up and everything like that. Then the Cardinals finally go ahead and give him the money, and it's tough if the dude starts slipping right after they gave him that money, right? That's not what we're looking for.
Yeah, let me look here, Amelia. It looks like Buddha Baker signed a 3-year, $54 million contract with the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know what, they didn't give a specific date, but so essentially what you've got here is he's under contract through 2027. Okay. So the current contract, he was signed in 2024. All right.
Okay.
So this year's cap hit is only 10.8 million, but there's 24 million in dead cap attached. Next year in 2026, his cap hit jumps 9 million or a little less than 9 million to 19.2 million, but the dead cap attached is only a 6.1. So the potential out is before the 2027 season, where that dead cap drops all the way down to 3 million. Really what you got is they can move on next year and free up a significant amount of cap space, and to the tune of about $13 million.
Yep.
So, yeah. So he got a little bit of guaranteed money, got the pot sweetened a little bit, right? And it looks like his best football is behind him now.
Tough to see, but you can kind of see it though. You got Campbell, you got Buddha. Not that they're super old. That's an aging team though. They have a little bit of age on that defense there, where it's not going to be sustainable forever.
Yeah, completely agree. All right, guys. So there you go. There's your PFF preview, Emilio. Before we move along and get ready to wrap this thing up, is there anything else you want to say in terms of the grades? We can go back to the defensive side as well. Anything
you
else?
Want to flip to base for both of them real quick too, just to see who else pops up there.
Base. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go to base defense. All right, so they got a 34 front. Sweat will play outside linebacker along with Browning. Okay. So it looks like they're going to bring in a defensive lineman named Robinson, Darius Robinson, former first-round pick out of Missouri. I remember him now. I remember he was very versatile.
Yeah. Okay, yep. Not having a great run though.
Not versatile on Sundays. He's a 35.5. Looking pretty ugly. So it is what it is there. So that's what that triggers in their base package. And of course, when we go to 12, let's just see what Musgrave's looking like. Musgrave's up to a 58.8 now. Getting a little bit better, right? So definitely better than last year, although there were very, very few minimal snaps last year with the injuries. But so we'll see what Musgrave can do.
To Musgrave's point real quick, do you think that it's odd that he's in line 83 and only slotting wide 7 and 7? You think that's a little odd?
You would expect him to be flexed out more. I don't find anything odd with his coaching staff, though.
That's fair.
I'm the one saying Jordan Morgan needs to play left side, and they think totally the opposite. Right. So, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know more than them, but I'm with you. When I see inline more than the slot and more out wide, it just seems kind of strange, right? I'm with you on that, dude, for sure. Let's see here. So, there's our 12. And again, I want to be very, very clear here. I hope we stay in 11 personnel. Yeah. This team is different in 11 personnel, man. It's what they're good at. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I think you're spot on with that. I just brought me to the attention just because of last night's game, watching the Steelers, man. It seemed like every single time they were in a passing set, it was 2 tight end, 2 wide receivers, and a back. And they just flexed them out wide and just ran with it. But I was just trying to see where we were kind of sitting with that one.
Gotcha. And then when we go to their 12 personnel, okay, you got Higgins that comes in, all right? If you want to read that off real quick, I'm going to try to pull up on the side here. I want to give you guys an idea of how much 12 personnel they actually run. Tell everybody about Elijah Higgins because he's off to a solid start. He's 11th highest graded tight end.
Yep. Mr. Elijah Higgins came from Stanford Cardinals, so he didn't go too far on his team name there. But he was drafted in 23, 6th round, 199 selection. He 23 had a 63.6, 24 he had a 61.9, and this year he's actually having a 74.5. They use him. Looks like he's kind of more like a U back. He's in the backfield 20 snaps, inline 65, slot 19, wide 10. He's on every special teams there is. Dude looks kind of just like a versatile Tucker Kraft, just not as skilled, right? And just not somebody that they rely on. He has an 80 receiving grade, run blocking of 59, but not super, super into their offense, I would say.
Gotcha. So in terms of 12 personnel, it looks like the team that runs the most 12 personnel is the Cleveland Browns at 48%. Next is the Atlanta Falcons at 47%. Next is the Baltimore Ravens at 44%. Then Pittsburgh at 40%. All right. Going on down the line, you got to go down pretty far to get to the Cardinals. So again, the team that's running it the most is in the 40 percentile range. The Arizona Cardinals are only running it 23% of the time. So essentially what that means, guys, is when you jump into the Cardinals specifically, they run 11 personnel, which is a 3 wide receiver set 54% of the time. They play 12 personnel 23% of the time. Or I'm sorry, they're in 12 personnel 23% of the time, which is one running back, 2 tight ends. That would trigger our base 4-3. Okay.
Right.
And then 13 personnel 9% of the time. That's interesting. 12 personnel with a star. I'm not sure exactly what that star indicates. They do not give it to me here, so I'm not sure what that is. They're showing 12 again in a certain clip as well. But again, what you got is 11 personnel 54% of the time, 12 23% of the time, and you'll probably see quite a bit of 13 personnel as well. Comparatively speaking, across the rest of the league. So now when we look at our base, McDuffie, man, listen.
Still having a season, man.
Yeah, 78.2. And again, guys, he comes in as our Sam backer when we're in our base 4-3. Man, what else can you ask for? I'm glad he's under contract for 2 years. This is listen, we talked about Tyron Hopper and how he looked really good in training camp and specifically the preseason, grading out really, really well, thinking, man, he's probably going to take that Sam job from Isaiah McDuffie. Isaiah McDuffie said, no can do, sir. Not taking my job.
Not taking my job or my seat, right? Stitch that thing on there. Look at his kick coverage and down. He's on basically everything I would think for kick, field goal, block, punt, all that stuff. And then, you look at the D-line snaps. He's getting 43 on the D-line because he's up there. He's in that. He's walking up to the line, setting that edge. He's that Sam backer, being able to, sort of turn the edge. He's not getting a bunch of snaps, right? But we're also not in that base a whole lot. And I think that's where, we rely on Coop and Quay to handle that. That's why you need that star, that nickel. But McDuffie, if he keeps playing like this the rest of the season, there's nothing you can complain about the way he's handling it right now.
And since we're talking base defense here, base 4-3, the Cardinals do run 12 personnel, 14th most in the league. So they're kind of middle of the pack, all right, in terms of that. In terms of EPA out of 12 personnel and EPA ranking, I should say, they are in EPA ranking. The Cardinals are actually 10th in EPA, which is expected points added out of their 12 personnel. Okay. So that's interesting. Now, if I were to hop over to 11, so keep that in mind, they're 10th, right? Is what I said in EPA rank. Okay. So in 11 personnel, the Cardinals fall down to 25th in EPA.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. So they're much better, a higher EPA ranking out of 12 personnel as opposed to 11 personnel. Very interesting there. In terms of running the ball out of 11 personnel, their EPA ranking is 28th. So they don't run out of 11 personnel very well. All right. Their EPA in passing out of 11 personnel, the Cardinals' EPA is actually, where are they at? 22nd. So you're not facing a very high-powered offense here in terms of EPA and the 2 packages that they run the most or the 2 personnel they run the most.
Right.
So,
but a team that has stayed in it and only lost by 9 total points in their 4 losses. So it's not anything that we can sort of take for granted and think it's just going to be a washer, just a beatdown.
yeah. And the Packers, just comparatively speaking, the Packers, when they're in 11 personnel, their EPA ranking is 7th best in the league. Okay. EPA per pass out of 11 personnel, the Packers are 8th. EPA per rush, the Packers in 11 personnel, 4th best. I love running out of 11 personnel, man. Get that nickel back in there, right? And come in with those nasty splits and make that nickel corner have to cheat into that run fit off the edge and blast his ass to oblivion with the tight end. I love it. So, and we got these wide receivers like Malik Heath and Savion Williams and these guys. Boy, they're looking for an opportunity to hit a nickel back.
Yeah, you know what?
No block, no rock.
Got that right, Coach. Got that right. Emilio, you got anything else you want to hit, man?
No, man, I think that was a great show. Glad we got to go over some of the numbers and kind of outline that for it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. And I know you got plenty of college football to play tonight. I think I'm going to crack open a daddy soda and hit a couple games myself.
Yeah, you got to let me know how you play. I got a couple dynasty games to get in.
There you go. There you go. We're getting those Kentucky Wildcats back in the top 10, back as if they've ever been there. And
yeah, right. Yeah.
What a crap show that is, man.
It's all about getting those recruits to show up, Clay, and winning on the recruit visits.
I've been on the phone with boosters all day long, man. Ain't nobody coming off any money, man. I was trying to borrow a Benny off of Jacob earlier. He just spent it all in the club, though. So, all right, guys, appreciate everybody hanging out with us. This is a lot of fun, man. We had a bunch of people swing through, and I know the Brewers are getting ready to get started here, so this is pretty good timing. Go Brew Crew tonight. Hopefully they can turn this around and make a miracle happen. It ain't looking good right now, but nonetheless, we'll be here talking Packers, whether they get eliminated tonight or continue their season along. So I do want to give a shout out real quick to this. I know Tim usually handles this for me, but I want to hit it real quick. Thank you, iRock. Appreciate the kind words, but everybody in the chat, y'all hit that like button for us. So we are partnered up with an awesome organization. All right. Packer Fan Total Access teaming up with Operation Horses Hill to raise money for a truck and a horse trailer to help bring life-changing horse-assisted programs to veterans, providing the space and environment to allow for their own self-guided wellness journey. All right. So essentially what we're doing here, guys, Operation Horses Heal, they've got an organization they've created where they have equine therapy. And I didn't know anything about equine therapy before we partnered up with them. Thank God Tim brought this to my attention. But it's a really cool kind of an all-natural way for dealing with PTSD, going out, spending time with the horses out on the ranch, hanging out. It helps the veterans. The feedback has been phenomenal from veterans who are dealing with stuff, whether it's, things that they've had to face in battle or maybe it's being away from the family. I mean, there's multiple different versions of PTSD. If you guys are not familiar with it, it's something that's very wide ranging. But what they're doing is, like I said, looking to get a horse or a trailer and a truck so they can take these horses on site to other areas rather than have the veterans come in. It's just a way that they can reach more veterans along the way. So what we've done is I've got a white, it's actually hanging right over here on the wall with a certificate and everything. I'm going to pull it off the wall and mail it out to whoever wins it. But we're donating an autographed away white Romeo Dobbs jersey, okay? Certificate. I just caught the ball. Everything along with it. So anybody who donates, every donation is an entry to win an autographed Romeo Dobbs jersey, okay? So anybody who donates to this cause, that's you're going to get yourself entered into the contest to win that autographed jersey there, okay? So again, you can actually check that out. I think we got a QR code. Tim's so much better at this than I am. Right there, just scan that QR code in the upper right. Or you can also go to this website right here. Thank you, Emilio. OperationHorsesHeal.org/forward/how-can-I-help/ or the easier way on my Twitter account at Packers_access. I've got a tweet pinned to the top of the page. Click right there. You'll see Tim's tweet as well. There'll be a link in his tweet. Just click on that. You can go straight there and donate. It's to a great cause, man. Sowing good seed, helping those veterans out that obviously are the reason that we're able to sit here in this awesome free country and talk about the silly little game of football. So
got just under 2 weeks left with that, right? Being
that's right.
Friday. Yeah. You're stopping it on the 28th?
We're going to run it through the month of October, so we'll take it all the way up to the 31st, and then we'll do the drawing the first week of November.
Perfect. So you got 2 weeks. 2 weeks left. All right, we got to hurry up before Halloween. Get it in. Help them. Help everybody that's helped us. Right.
And again, guys, there's no donation too small. And also, if you don't have money to donate, feel free to just spread the word.
Right.
That helps too, right? Let's send as much traffic to operationhorsesheal.org as we possibly can, because I'm telling you, man, I think many people think they're not valuable, that they can't help, that maybe their word of mouth advertising isn't good enough. It's BS, man. Anything you can do to help. I always say, man, if you ain't got money to donate, then donate time to somebody, to helping someone. If you ain't got time, you probably got money because you're working so damn much. You got plenty of money in the pocket, but you ain't got time to do anything, right? So either way, man, time and money is what it's all about, helping each other out. So, all right, we're out of here, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. The goal tomorrow will be to hit the game plan. I'm going to tweak it a little bit more. You guys can check that out over at patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. $3 get you access to everything there. Also get you entered into other giveaways, which the post-game show this week against the Cardinals, we're going to be giving away an autographed Javon Bullard rookie card. Okay. So the way that works is if you're a member of the Patreon group or a member here on YouTube, we put everybody's name on the wheel, spin that sucker, whoever it lands on, we'll mail you out an autographed card. So that's the way that works. Just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the Patreon community and the YouTube member list here on YouTube. So, Emilio, appreciate your time, bud.
Absolutely. Love to be here.
Everybody have a great night. As always, let's go out and beat the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.